Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. So today we are going to be talking about staple items that I always have at home in order to make healthy meals. So these staple items are all super cheap too, which is another thing that's amazing because we don't want to be spending a ton of money on groceries and all the prepackaged stuff does add up. So these are all whole food, plant-based items that I swear by. They are the things that I always buy, always have on hand, and we always have everything in bulk in order to save even more money. So these items, a lot of them are very high fiber. You guys know I love my high fiber meals, so it's very important to get a lot of fiber in our diet. So you're gonna see a lot of beans and lentils. And as far as veggies go, there's nothing wrong with canned or frozen veggies. They're actually very nutritious. So if you can't get fresh, or you can't afford fresh, do not stress. You can still eat canned and frozen veggies. I use frozen veggies all the time and my meals turn out perfect. So do whatever it is that you need to do to work with your budget and your lifestyle and where you live, because it depends on where you live and what's accessible to you. Okay guys, welcome back to the channel. Thanks again for being here. So we are going to start with the number one thing that I would say that you should have at home is some strained tomatoes. So why do I love strained tomatoes? It's not just because I can make my homemade tomato sauce. It's also used in stews and it's used for soups. It's used in so many dishes. It is just so important for me to have some of this in my home all the time. And I also have just like canned tomatoes as well, because they are just absolutely perfect to make so many different dishes, especially having the pressure cooker, and I can make so many different types of stews using the tomatoes, and it's very cheap to buy. We buy them in bulk and they will really last for a long time as well. So yeah, this is definitely a staple in my home. So now we are going to go on to beans, many different types of beans, and we have chickpeas and fava beans. We use black beans, sometimes kidney beans, but not that often, but we do buy them sometimes. And then even just like the canned beans and tomato sauce, as long as they don't have oil in it, I'm okay with having that once in a while. So yeah, just different varieties of beans, and they are so high in fiber and of course so high in protein. So you do want to make sure that you have enough beans and legumes in your diet. If you are new to being vegan, then of course you can substitute easily with any of this, variety available to us at any grocery store for really just very little money, which is fantastic. It is another cheap staple to have at home. Beans can be made into so many different dishes, like this lovely stew and soups, and they can be eaten on their own. They're just wonderful to have. So now I'm also throwing tofu into the mix. Why is tofu so important? Because you can make so many different things with it. You can make it as a base of any type of sauce you want to make. You can cut it up and air fry it like I'm showing you. You can bake it in the oven. You can flavor it with whatever you like, and it's going to take on that flavor, and it really is delicious. You really have to give tofu a chance. If you are new to being vegan and whole food plant-based, then please try some tofu in different ways before you say you don't like it. So now I'm just going to show you guys oats, because you guys know oats are just a staple in my home for breakfast all the time, for baked oats in the oven. I just love oats. I use oats for my flour. And then of course quinoa, which is another staple as well. And of course they both have protein and they both have fiber, and they're just so important to have in your diet. So you guys know I will even have oats for my work lunches. I just love it. And I actually use quinoa the same way. I do make porridges with quinoa as well. So you don't have to just eat it in savory meals. You can actually eat it as a breakfast as well, which is wonderful. And I love quinoa because it's that complete protein. Okay, so now we're going to move on to couscous. So some of my older kids like the white pearl couscous, so I do make that for them. I stick with the whole wheat couscous. I love it. I eat it by itself. I will make different salads with it. It is just a wonderful thing to keep in the pantry just in case you need to make something quickly. It cooks up super fast. So of course we have a lot of fiber in couscous. I love the whole wheat couscous and protein. So pretty much everything that I'm showing you guys is low in fat, high in protein and fiber. But yeah, I mean, whole food plant-based vegan is such an easy way of eating. There is such a variety of options. Okay, so now we're moving on to potatoes. And of course, potatoes have potassium and calcium and fiber, vitamin C, protein. I mean, they're just amazing. I just love potatoes. And I go through stages where I like, some potatoes better than others, but lately it's been sweet potatoes are my love now, and I'm cooking those up more often. But these again are quite inexpensive. You can buy them anywhere and they store really nicely. So it is just a really easy thing to keep on hand, and you can make so many different meals using it. I bought this basket secondhand, so I just store my potatoes in here, and it's kind of dark. I keep them underneath my counter in here, and it just works for me. So yeah, I mean, here I'm just showing you, you can cook up sweet potatoes in a variety of different ways. I have them chopped up and I peeled them and I bake them sometimes. Sometimes they're soup. Sometimes they end up to be just baked with the skin on in the oven. It really depends on my mood. So sometimes I like to peel them and bake them in the oven. I put a little bit of maple syrup and a little bit of cinnamon and nutmeg on it, and it turns out so nice. These are my fall vibe sweet potatoes that I cook up quite often when fall comes around. So yeah, I mean, you want something that you have and that you can make in different ways. So potatoes are one of those things where you can just do such a variety of different things with them. And air fry them just very simply. And again, there's no added fat. You're just air frying your potatoes, adding some seasoning, and have a sugar-free ketchup, and you're good to go. You have a really filling meal and you're going to feel satisfied. So I air fry mine most of the time, but don't stress. If you don't have an air fryer, you can also bake them in the oven, no big deal. And you've got a healthy meal that is ready to go in no time at all. So now we're moving on to veggies. Just keep any type of veggie on hand so that you can meal prep really quickly. I'm just showing some zucchinis that I found at the grocery store. Basically, whatever I find on sale is what I pick up, and that way I get a variety of veggies as well. And so we have carrots. Carrots are a staple. You keep them in the fridge, use them when you want, and they will keep for a very long time. And again, it's very inexpensive to buy carrots, so I always keep them in the fridge all the time. So we also are using frozen veggies whenever we need to or want to. So we have broccoli florets here, and yeah, don't feel bad about buying anything frozen because they are very, very nutritious. So just buy whatever you can. And here I have bulk red peppers that I'm using, and yeah, we just buy whatever is available to us. So now we're moving on to lentils. Oh, I love lentils. If I had to pick between beans and lentils, I'll always pick lentils because they're just easier on my tummy. They make me super full for so long, and I love how I can do so many things using them. And again, they're super high in protein and fiber and so easy to find pretty much anywhere. And you can buy it in bulk and then store it in a jar like I do, and that way you always have them on hand easily, and that way you can make a variety of different meals. So now we're moving on to fruit. Of course, you always have to have an abundance of fruit on hand. It's the perfect snack basically, and perfect treat to have. So apples and bananas are the staple things we keep at home all the time, but I do like to buy watermelon, especially during the summer. I eat a lot of watermelon. We will typically have mangoes, every once in a while, and dragon fruit every once in a while, but usually it's the apples and bananas that we always have, and it's just super easy and convenient, and we can find it anywhere. Now, I wish I can say that these were, cheap all the time. Not really. Apples are kind of expensive where I am, but you know what? I just do the best I can. And then I also will have frozen berries and fruit as well, just because it is cheaper and I can buy it in bulk. And now for my favorite staple thing, rice. I love having different types of rice. I usually eat brown rice the most often, I would say, and then I will substitute with some jasmine and basmati as well. And sometimes I have a lentil mix, and it also has rice in it, and it's just a regular basmati, I believe. And don't forget, the rice is very nutritious as well. We've got protein in there, and of course, it's low fat and it keeps you full for a very long time. I mean, I just love rice. Every type of rice. It is definitely something that I eat very, very often. So I saved herbs for last because they are my favorite and they're overlooked by so many people. I love to grow a variety of herbs because I love to do different sauces with them. I add them to pastas. I do pestos with them. I will add them to veggie wraps. I just love using different herbs in different ways because you are adding a lot of extra nutrition into your diet by consuming herbs. And of course, I love having different teas growing in the backyard. But don't fret. See, I always keep some on the windowsill and it's just in a little pot. Anybody can do this, even if you have a little apartment. You can definitely have some herbs growing in your home and you don't need a lot, and you can just grow it on your windowsill and enjoy it whenever you need it. It is super simple. And of course, if you're growing it at home, you don't have to pay such expensive prices at the grocery store for herbs. You already have them handy at home. Thanks so much for being here, guys. Thanks so much for watching the video. Let me know in the comments below what other types of videos you would like to see so that I can get working on those. But I know a lot of you guys want the quick and easy recipes. That's what you are asking me for right now. So as far as other videos go, I will try to get those on the go, but I really am trying to focus on the recipes since that's what you guys are asking for. So yeah, thanks so much for being here, guys. Thank you for all of the support. I really appreciate it. And if you find any of these recipes helpful, please pass them on to anybody who is struggling and doesn't know where to turn to with a whole food plant-based diet. If this helps you in any way and you think it can help someone else, please, again, pass it on so that they can get some tips and easy ideas in order to make their health and their wellness a priority.